Yeah, I'm gonna like just keep like over here for this one.
Do you want to hold my hand?
Yeah, I should get like a bubble. Like
No,
a little
I need the
quarantine bubble. No, I need the quarantine bubble because you've touched everything in here.
Not really.
So,
I didn't touch the tree really.
Okay, well I'm just gonna go like nose up with the tree then, and you can just be over there with your fucking germs.
Can't spell Germany without germs.
God damn it!
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of SpeedSim. I'm Amy.
And I'm E-House.
And as you can clearly tell, I have been sick for the past week. So I'm going to try my best to sound not nasally. But today, we're going to be talking about how to treat new players on the Airsoft field.
Yes, Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat, and all the new players are on the way. Because
there's going to be a flood of them.
Yeah, every Christmas.
Yep.
Every Christmas, there's kids getting their first airsoft guns. Ever since A Christmas Story did it with BB guns, it has been a tradition as old as, well, airsoft.
Yeah.
So
91.
Yeah, so as old as 1991. Kids getting their first airsoft gun for Christmas, tons of new players. And this video is not intended for those new players. No, no, no. This video is intended for you. You watching.
The veteran.
Mark.
Or Mark.
Mark.
There you go.
Oh, hi, Mark. But anyway, no, this video is intended for you, the older players, the guys who've been at this for a while.
The veterans.
Yeah, the veteran players. Or even maybe you haven't been at this for that long. Maybe you've only been at this for a year or two.
Yeah.
So maybe you haven't quite dealt with the noob influx yet. But this
you
is
will.
Yeah, you will. You'll deal with it this year, especially since Airsoft just keeps growing so much.
Yep. First piece of advice, if they're going to come up to you and show you their new gun they got for Christmas, at least do the favor of just, indulging them and telling them they made a great purchase or they got something great. Because I see that way too many times on the field where kids come up to me. I mean, it's a new gun. For the most part, it's not going to be like the shiniest thing, but just indulge them. Let them know that what they've got is really cool.
Yeah, don't be a dick. If someone comes up to you and they have, say, a combat machine,
there you go.
Very common.
Very common.
I mean, yeah, it's not your Crytek or your Avalon, or if you're really hardcore, your Polar Star, your PTW.
Or your umbrella numbers.
Yeah, but this is their first gun. Like, they don't know what they've got. They don't know what you've got. So don't be a dick about what other people have. This goes in general beyond just new players.
Yep.
Don't be a dick about other people's gear, but especially when they're new.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you act like an asshole to some kid, they're never going to want to come back.
No, they're going to hate you.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably don't care, but they care.
They care, and you'll care when you have no one to shoot at.
True.
So going off of that same vein, the other thing is don't constantly flash your superiority over these kids. Don't constantly be breaking out whatever ridiculous thing you have and be like, oh, you think that's cool? I've got this. The one-upmanship is what we'll call it. Yeah. Trying to one-up somebody all the time is really irritating.
Yeah.
And yes, if they ask you a question about what you have, show them. Or if you think you have a suggestion relevant to their interests and they're looking for suggestions, show them. But don't try to one-up somebody constantly, and don't try to be like, oh, well, you think that's cool, I've got... They don't care.
No.
Yeah. Just don't do it.
On the field, if you see them hunkering up and kind of standing like this and really, really scared, go up to them and just kind of show them the ropes a little bit. Take them under their wing. I see that way too many times where there's people coming out from spawn and they just see like 6 or 7 kids just kind of bungle up like this with their gun up straight and up and down. They don't know what you're doing. Just run up to them and be like, hey, I'll show you something a little cooler, and just kind of, show them how to kind of peek the corner a little bit so they understand the game. They might not be, completely okay with running out in the first couple minutes of playing, so just kind of show them, take them under the wing, and just be like, hey guys, come with me, and then just kind of show them the ropes. I see that way too many times when people don't even do that, and it's really, really frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely. That just get them involved in the game. I'm not saying yell at them and give them orders and crap, but if you see a bunch of kids, because the thing is, they don't know the game, they don't know the field, they don't really know how to play.
Just imagine you being in a new field. You don't know what the field is.
You know what you want to be? I'm going to use a video game example. You want to be the tutorial level in a video game. You know, they'll always have that character who yells at you what to do, like, switch to your pistol, it's faster than reloading, like General Shepard in Modern Warfare 2.
Yep.
That's you. You are General Shepard in Modern Warfare 2, except for the part where you shoot Ghost.
Oh, that went dark.
Pour one out for the homie. But you want to be that. You want to be that kind of guy where you're telling these kids or guys or however old they are, you know, they might not be kids. They might be older guys who just, again, they don't know the game. And we've had some older gentlemen come out who've never really played before. Maybe they're there with their son.
Yep.
Just be like, hey, you know, if you go here or do this or shoot here, then it'll help them have more fun. They'll learn the game. So exactly what Amy said.
Yep.
Just do that. Going along the same vein of trying to make sure that they're involved in the game, this is kind of an attitude thing as much as an action thing. Always remember that we've all been there. All of us have been there, where it's our first time at a field, it's our first time playing, it's our first time doing any of this. We've all been there. And if you had somebody who you feel like took you under their wing and really showed you how to play the game and showed you all this stuff, you know how important that is. Have that in your mind just with everything you do, that you might be that person to this kid or to this adult or however old they are. You might be the person that they're looking up to as, hey, this person has the gear or the experience or just seems like a cool guy. They might be looking up to you. So just try to set a good example and try to make sure that you bear in mind that they need you to some extent or another.
Along the same vein, when you're playing against these players, because, you know, you're going to encounter them, it's inevitable, you can't always be on their same team, they're going to more than likely be wearing really heavy gear. So they're going to be puffed up with jackets and hoodies or wherever you are in the nation, somewhere they're going to be wearing really, really heavy clothing. And if you shoot them and it takes maybe more, 3 shots or whatever to take them down because they don't feel it because they have such heavy padding, just, don't flip out on them calling them renters or new players. We've all been there. Nobody really wants to get shot and hurt, so that's what these kids are trying to do, is trying to get away from getting hurt because they still want to play. So if you counter something like this and they're not calling it right off the bat, just go up to them and be like, hey, look, I shot you a bunch of times. Can you just make sure that next time you call or whatever, or tell the refs that you have take care of those kids. Either way, one of those two things, wherever you are, just to keep that in mind, because nobody really wants to get hurt.
And this is actually something that you can help with if you're on the team of one of these players. Yep. If you see them get shot, let them know. Because one of the things that no one likes to admit about Airsoft is Airsoft guns don't shoot that hard. So when you're wearing gear or you're wearing heavy clothing, you might hear it more than you feel it. Mm-hmm. And to a certain extent, some of these players might not even know what that sounds like.
Right.
So if you just let them know, hey, you've been hit when they're on your team, then that can help. And as Amy said, just have patience when you're playing against them. And if you hit them a couple of times and they don't call it, yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it sucks. I get it. But if you want ultra competitive play, go to a Speed QB tournament or a MilSim op.
Yep.
If you're at an open play and there's a bunch of new players, it kind of comes with the territory.
Yep.
You can't flip out. So the last thing I want to say, and again, this kind of goes with everything we've been saying, and it should kind of come across as common sense, but I know I earlier mentioned not one-upping, but if they ask you a question, if someone who's newer asks you a question, to the best of your ability, answer it. If, again, you have time and if you have the know-how. If you don't have time, like it's an in-depth question and maybe you can't answer it right on the spot, or maybe you don't know the answer. If someone comes up to me and asks me a question about the best HPA setup, I don't use HPA. I might say to them, you know what, I've installed a Polar Star Jack and it's pretty easy. That's about it as much as I can say. But don't make stuff up to try to sound cool to the new players, because believe it or not, I see that. I see this especially with, I don't want to generalize, but I do see it with younger kids who are into the game a lot and who get asked by other younger kids questions, or who maybe get asked by adults who are just getting into the game or by their dad. And I notice that these people will make stuff up, and I see it with every age bracket, but I notice it a lot with young kids. So if you're in that age bracket that's a little younger and maybe you want to appear more knowledgeable than you are, people will respect you more if you defer to the fact that, hey, I don't have the answer. So yes, answer every question that you can, but don't make stuff up. Then you just look stupid.
Great story about that. I was playing one time and I had my HPA tap pistol. One of these newer kids who knew everything was like, oh look, this kid has a an HPA Polar Star, or a pistol Polar Star. And I was like,
Yeah.
no.
So-
That's not what this is.
So
Best
that's the
thing ever.
thing. Exactly. It's that kind of stuff. Just don't make stuff up to appear as if you're more knowledgeable than you are, because once they come back and they know what they're talking about, they'll know you're full of hot air. So
Yeah.
just don't bother.
Ask, somebody that you're, if you're at a local shop, just have them go over to the pro shop and ask the questions.
Exactly. The pro shop will be more than able to answer
Or
most
some of the refs,
questions.
maybe even some of the refs might.
Yeah, refs, or you know what? Other players too.
Yeah.
Great resource.
Perfect.
Or send them over to Gun Gamers, because we're awesome.
Totally straight edge.
Don't do that. All right. I think that's about all we got.
Yeah. Alright guys, thanks for watching another episode of SpeedSim. Once again, my name's Amy.
And I'm E-House.
And thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.
And I promise it'll be sooner than a month.
Sorry, I was sick.
Peace.